better understanding of the posterior chain will hopefully give you a better understanding of why your back hurts in this very non-specific way, or where it does hurt and where that point of pain that you point to your posterior hip and go, it's right on that button, that bump there. A lot of patients have that complaint to me. So what is a posterior chain? The posterior chain is not a one thing, single thing. It's a collection of muscles that interact with one another. They're interconnected through the fascia, and your brain recruits them in a sequential way in order to achieve movements. There are two posterior chain groups I want you to become familiar with. The first is a centerline. It starts in the skull, goes all the way down your spine, then goes in and splits at your sacral region, at the low part of your back, and splits into your gluteus maximus muscles, your butt muscles, and then goes down into your hamstrings, into your calf muscles, and then down into your feet, and actually finishes up at your plantar fascia. Now, there's a pair of posterior chain on either side. They start with your latissimus dorsi that are attached to your shoulders, right in your armpits, and then they come down, and then they meet the center posterior chain in your low back region. So this area is a very high traffic area of forces. Forces are going up and down, back and forth throughout this area. And then those forces continue down into your legs as well. So all three of these regions, this pair here and this posterior chain up and down, have forces that go up and down, crossing over, and they need to be moving with as much efficiency as possible. What often happens is, due to weakness and poor motor recruitment of the posterior chain muscles, this area can often become weakened. And when that becomes weakened, the forces are being redistributed to other muscles that aren't designed to be recruited the way these muscles are. They are more the mobility muscles, not the stability muscles. These are a group of stability muscles as well. And so if you lose the ability to adequately recruit your stability muscles, which are part of the posterior chain, then your brain will start to recruit and over-recruit the mobility muscles, which fatigue faster. When they fatigue faster, you have aches and pains, and this is where it becomes uncomfortable. And there's so many muscles down there, it's very difficult to identify what is the muscle, because it isn't a singular muscle that's a problem. It's the lack of the posterior chain recruitment. So we want to be working on exercises that are not focused on where the pain is, not focused on shoulder pain or neck or low back or hips, but we want to be working on exercises that retrain the posterior chains. And as you retrain the posterior chain, then the brain can start to recruit those muscles more efficiently, can start loading them because they're designed to be loaded. And as they start to load up these muscles, then the brain and the nervous system begins to offload the mobility muscles, so they have a chance to rest and they're not fatiguing so fast. And so now the muscles that are designed to be loaded and have a hard time fatiguing because they have strong endurance, they are able to work better, which means the mobility muscles fatigue less. This also results in better posture. This will improve posture as well. So we don't work on posture exercises as much, but we focus on improving the posterior chain. So I have a series of exercises that work the posterior chain. It isn't just one exercise that does it. Because the posterior chain works the entire body in different ways, you need to exercise the posterior chain in different ways. And I'm going to show you a series of exercises that does that. And as you progress and do more and more of these posterior chain exercises, hopefully you'll find a lot better functionality, a lot less muscle fatigue in your back.